Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the locker room. We're back after a little bit of a break. Some members were not available to attend the previous episodes, and so we had to postpone a couple of times. But we're now back in full force and back to enjoy the Premier League title running. The big boys are at it, and we have quite a bit of action to get to, reviewing some of the action from fantastic weekend if you are Arsenal and City and Liverpool and Chelsea. And we'll get right into it after this.
Bukayo Saka! Anthony! Support for the Birmingham! Bang! There goes Haaland. He's on it.
Brilliant. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are actually just kicking the show off. Welcome to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. With me in the virtual studio are the usual crew. Sly from the blue half of London, Chelsea, Jonah from the legendary Cop side of Liverpool on Merseyside, and Mr. Manzi from what seems to appear like the black side of Manchester, but which should be the red side of Manchester, Man United. You are most welcome, Manzi, Sly, and Jonah. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
What up, what up, what up?
Brilliant, brilliant. And we have a little bit to cover, but seeing as to how we have a United game to look forward to in just a few minutes, say 20 to 25 minutes. We'll definitely have to ensure Manzi catches that game from the start. And so we kick off our action with a review of the games from the weekend. And there was no other place to kick it off than at the Emirates, where the Arsenal faced an informed Bournemouth and picked up 3 points and a clean sheet, scoring 3 goals in the process. Goals coming in there from Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, and Declan Rice. 105 million pounds, well spent, and that kept up the pressure on Manchester City. It's definitely head-to-head right now for the title running between City and Arsenal. Of course, we do know that City rarely let go of a chance to clinch silverware once given the lead. But Sly, what was your take on this game? And Arsenal, of course, we'll go into City's result, which was also positive. But how would you compare Arsenal's approach to games at this stage of the season versus last season? Have they learned something? And, your take.
No, I mean, obviously, like, these guys have really matured. I've been saying throughout the season, they've made some really, really good signings, and injuries have also worked really well for them. But when you look at their approach to games now, it's more of a case of, okay, you come and beat us. They have that confidence and they've got a bit of swag about them, which is nice for them. I thought Tottenham might have given them a bit of a slippery banana, kind of like the game before, but the way they cruised through that, I really felt that now they're in that space whereby, do you remember when you just had certain teams where it's like it's only the top teams that they'll struggle against, but they just know that they're gonna like whitewash the smaller teams, the lesser teams, irrespective of whether they're kind of like in form or not. So I think they've definitely matured. They're very confident in their play, and man, kudos to them for keeping the pressure on. I mean, they've got 2 games to go, and these are the times where you really have to show your chops, and to push City all the way to the line. Yeah, bear in mind, City do have a game in hand, but like to push them through the line is I mean, kudos to them.
Yo, Jonah, I'd like to hear your take on this. I mean, obviously Liverpool have fallen away. I mean, mathematically they're not out of it, but you have fallen away from the title race of late. Do you see any more slip-ups from both Arsenal and Manchester City to give Liverpool way back into this? And maybe also on the flip side, do you see City slipping to give Arsenal a potential title shot in the games left?
I really don't see where either of them slip. Obviously, when you look at the fixtures, you would think that maybe United can stress Arsenal a bit, and you would think that maybe Spurs would be the one to stress City. But both United and Spurs are really not in the best form. United have so many injuries in their defense. I don't know what they're playing for anymore. Are they playing for top six?
Maybe they have that. Tell us.
Maybe they have that. I don't know if they are. I don't know if United is motivated, but obviously United, like they showed in all the games they played us this season, that even when they're out of form, if you bring them up against someone they consider a rival, they will wake up. But what I wonder is, I mean, in Uganda we know United and Arsenal are rivals, but is it the same abroad? I don't know. I don't know if those guys that side have the same motivation as our border things here.
But I mean, it stems from like it's not even recent times, right? It's our era where the rivalry came in terms of Fergie and Fergie, so there is definitely a new age rivalry. It's not Liverpool United of like those days, but yeah, definitely. But I think I'd also want to throw Fulham in there as a potential slip up for City, because like Fulham have been playing they've been playing some pretty interesting football, and it's the pressure can get to you. The pressure can get to you, and they've really got nothing to lose, and I think it's one of those where you kind of hold your breath, and then once you break through that kind of barrier, like, okay, yeah, fair enough, we've scored a goal, let's kind of go ahead and do it. But I still feel that it's not all done and dusted. I still feel there's a spanner in the works somewhere.
Fantastic. Manzi, who wins it for you finally? As we move on to the City's result.
Title race that will go to the final day, and it will be the stuff of watching two games, like who's winning and who's losing. Kind of what Aguero did to us. But me, I still think it will be Arsenal deserve it more. Even 3-0 shows that they're good up front, but very good defensively. Of course, City 5, the one shows that there's a weakness there. If a team scores that one goal and they pack the bus, you can get like a draw, like a 1-1 somewhere, but Arsenal is not accepting to be scored. So I think their defense helps them. I'm tired of City. Let Arsenal win this thing, then we'll hate on them again next season. Yeah, over to you, Matthew.
You guys who say let Arsenal win. I think you don't really hang with these guys, Manzi. Do you know the noise they will make? Like, there will be nowhere to hide. They won't care. They won't care that Manzi was nice to us. No. They'll bunch you in with everyone.
Okay. It's not even just here, globally, man. Everyone
knows about their fans. I know City fans are in high school. They're attending prom, so they can't make noise.
Yeah, so then they win and we forget about it. Almost the same day we forget that City has won.
You guys in Liverpool, but us were in the same city, my friend. The United fans, I think we would rather. London is so far from Manchester. Is like next door. Like you cross the road, you've come from Old Trafford, you've gone. No, we are tired. It's too. They've over-dominated Manchester. So,
hey man, they'll turn the Premier League into the Farmers League, really. I mean,
I've been hearing that conversation. No, they haven't, man. They haven't. And it just so happened that a lot of teams went through a transition at the same time, And it's. I think next season you're really gonna see a lot of difference. And even this season, man. If anything, you can't say it's the Farmers League over. I mean, like this season, how they've always clinched it, right? Liverpool pushed them when it was like 1 point. It's never been like they're winning the league with like 8 games to go. You know what I mean? That's what happens in the Farmers League. They're winning the game with like 10 games to go in the season, 28 games played, and they're like, yeah, we're done. Christmas is done and we're done. No. The games, yes, they've won, they've dominated, but like I don't like that Farmers League talk, man. I feel like that's a bit harsh.
4 years in a row, man, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
Not even the great Faggy achieved that. So
they did when they
Farmers
did 3
League
years
was-
in a row. Everyone was saying, "Well, what the hell?" When Shearer was scoring 20, 25 goals a season, everyone's like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Now you got players scoring 40 goals a season. So it's the game also evolves, I think.
There you go. Farmers League. All the points you're making are just validating. Farmers League. Moving on guns to City. Of course, City, as you can see, were also in imperious form. 5-1 final score against Wolves. Erling Haaland back to his mesmerizing best with 4 goals. I mean, this guy, the fifth coming in from Julian Alvarez. I don't know, Jonah, this guy, what is it going to take to stop this guy? I mean, he's looking sharp again this season. There have been claims he's been off the pace. He's had a poor season, but I mean, the guy is on 25 goals now. He looks like if he keeps up scoring at this pace, then, City, I mean, obviously, it's possible he can even end up at 30 goals again. What's your take on? I mean, is he the driving force behind City, not only scoring and winning games, but catching up with that goal difference for Arsenal? I think it's now down to what, like 6, a gap of 6 with City having 3 games to go. So I think Arsenal should be keeping an eye on that as well. Goal difference, yeah, man. City at 54, Arsenal at 60. And City obviously have a game more. They have 3 games to go. Arsenal have 2 games to go. And as you can see with Arsenal's games, they're actually tight, quite tight at the moment. So, what your take on City and Haaland, especially, Jonah?
Yeah, I mean, looking at their fixtures, you see the thing with Haaland, by the way, he's a guy who will confuse you. And us guys who play fantasy have started to understand him. If Haaland is going to play a big team, or a semi-final, or a quarter-final, he's not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. And then that's when people will start saying he's off form. Same thing happened last season. It's not like, of course, now in hindsight, we think he was scoring every single game. But he wasn't actually. He had those 2, 3, 4 games where he would go dry. And usually it's against the bigger teams. Now, looking at their upcoming matches, Fulham, maybe he gets 1. Spurs, Romero will lock him up. Even if City win, Romero will lock up Haaland. Like it will be like a good 3-0, but Haaland won't do anything. West Ham, now that's where Haaland, those are the games he likes. West Ham and their home. David Moyes is on the way out. West Ham, I don't think they care about the season anymore. They're already looking at next season. There, Haaland can score like 4 again. That's him. That's how he is. So, but also to answer your question of the goal difference thing, yeah, I think it's more likely. As much as you guys also scored a lot over the weekend, if you look at City's last few games, bar the Forest game, they have been scoring more than 3 as well. So they might be able to close that goal difference thing. And it's also very likely that this season might end with the goal difference thing factoring in.
Hey, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. Looking at the games that they have left, for those who are not aware, Man City with 3 more games to play. The next game away to Fulham before they actually head out to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to face Spurs before closing their campaign at home against West Ham. So,
let me ask you guys something.
Spurs Tetuyambye.
Spurs Tetuyambye, I don't think so. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They were beaten by Arsenal. They were beaten by Liverpool. Do you think they'll stop City? They should shock us and stop City.
But here's an
Oh,
interesting
yes,
thing.
yeah.
Apparently,
Mm.
City under Pep Guardiola have never beaten Spurs at Spurs' home.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, I
thing.
saw that. I saw that as
They have
well.
never beaten them, and they have never even scored.
Huh?
Imagine.
Yeah.
That's good news.
So that's kind of their boogie
Man.
team.
They are
No,
Achilles heel.
no.
And then you see also at the same time, like I was trying to mention earlier, you see Spurs had put together a really good run during the season, right? And at one point we're like, whoa, this guy is really doing something special there, you know? And then they had a few hiccups there with injuries and what have you. And then over the last couple of games, I'm sure they're a bit of a wounded lion, you know, in the corner in terms of like, okay, maybe not a lion, but like, you know, a wounded, I don't know.
A wounded chicken, man.
Yeah. You know, because they could come out and do something to City, you know, because if they get beat, they got beaten by us. They got beaten by Arsenal, you know, and it's just like, okay, like, you know, your pride is on the line. The fans are going to demand something. Say what you want about it. They've got an amazing stadium, so I'm sure the fans are going to get behind them, and it will be like a proper derby game for them, you know. So I think, you know, with City, Fulham, and Spurs, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I wouldn't bet on those.
Very interesting. Moving to Merseyside, and the games, Klopp's games are running out here, but great result for him against the, Spurs we've been talking about, continuing with that losing streak. I think it's 4 matches on the trot now. Spurs have lost 4-2 the final score. Goals coming in from Mo Salah, Andy Robertson, Cody Gakpo, and Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott with a screamer of a goal. Jonah, too little to sort of unsettle Arsenal and City, or do you think? I mean, mathematically, it's still possible if City and
but it's just
Arsenal lose 2 games.
It's asking too much from the football gods, surely. But I mean, in terms of the result, it's like Sly was saying. Like if you see, like Sly was saying about Spurs, like when a team is out of form, there's always this thing I always say where they can't lose forever. Like they have to wake up. Now, both us and Spurs, you can't lose forever. So both us and Spurs came to that game with that we can't lose forever type attitude, and it just happened to be our day to wake up on them. The scoreline flatters them a bit. The fact that they got 2 goals, we were really, really dominant over them. They almost had no say, and as usual, we missed too many chances. If it was a better finishing team, the score would have been very, very vulgar. But that's the thing with Spurs is they can also decide like we can't lose forever, and it might be on City who they wake up. So that's something that and Pep, going back to City, Pep is that guy who is a bit too superstitious. Like he overthinks things. Now, like that whole Spurs being his boogie team, then he'll be worried about the wounded lion. He can do something weird and decide to like bench Rodri.
Oscar Bob.
Yeah, he first bench Rodri and play some kid, and he's like, he saw a dream or something like that. Like Pep is weird. That match is going to be very, very interesting, and I think we will know in the first 15 minutes. If in the first 15 minutes it's 0-0, problems. If in the first 15 minutes City scores 2, it's over. We can switch to another channel, put on a movie or something.
Yeah. Man, that would be. Even if City score 1.
There's also this thing of just like at this point of the season, you everyone wants to be the kind of the deciding factor in the title race. You know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of like, I want to be the one that swung it. You know what I mean? Give their fans at least something to sing home about. So so it's gonna be an
interesting one. Even even West Ham, for City. Even West Ham might be an interesting one because Moyes is on his way out. His contract is up in the summer. It's not going to be renewed. That's like his last game. Yeah, I mean that's like his last game, right? So if the players don't give one last hurrah to David Moyes, man, man. Six,
You know?
6.5 at the back.
Like his guys
And then
could
just have
decide,
Anthony just run through them.
like they want to give him a nice farewell.
Yeah, and City's playing. City's the last 3 games City's playing are all against London teams, man. They might just be like, man, let's bring this team down.
Let's just stick together.
Actually, when you say it like that, when you say it like that, actually, I hadn't thought of that. They may sooner just spread for City properly and say, you know what, we can't have this.
You know.
How ironic! I mean, the narratives in this title running have been crazy. I mean, Unai Emery proving to potentially be the nail in the coffin, the guy who was replaced for someone else to bring a title in, and then potentially Spurs denting Man City's title to give, to basically give Arsenal.
Can you imagine that drama?
The scenes there, man.
So crazy.
Spurs, hands, Arsenal. The scenes. I don't know.
Can't do it.
I think they'll just be singing like, you wouldn't have won it without us.
Yeah, man. Anyway, moving on. Of course, Liverpool, like we said, they're securing that result, but they're basically securing third place. And we need to move on from them because the United game is just kicking off. I know a lot of you are going to be catching that. But just before we move on, man, I mean, Sly, look at how big Mickey van der Ven is versus Salah and Robertson, man.
I know, right?
Look at that. The guy is like,
I thought it was angles.
Oh, I also thought
the way he's looking down at them.
And he's behind.
The guy is like you kindergarten guys. What's going on? The Premier League is very interesting. Anyway, moving on to Sly's beloved Blues, picking up a 5-0, man. Woo!
I think, was it 2 weeks ago? When I said if United is not serious, they'll finish below Chelsea, man. Things are not okay.
Things are looking rough for you, United guys, man.
Things are not okay. Guys are above United.
5-0 goals coming in.
I think Crystal Palace is a sure loss.
Huh?
Crystal Palace is a sure loss.
I'm telling you, man.
Those guys, huh? Good.
Yeah, man. I mean that result, it's like just before you come in, pushing Chelsea up to 8th place, 35 games played, 1 point behind.
No, they're in 7th.
Yeah, the table looks different now, man. It's still United is playing. That's why
we're 7th.
Yeah. No, United is playing. That's why. Yeah. The game has started. That's why. But as usual, United. I mean, what's the trickiest like? I think Nicholas Jackson also got a shave.
You know what?
We've just been talking about reducing hair. That being the key to.
Guy said he cut his hair. We should rely on African parents' proverbs, huh? No, but
honestly, man, if Darwin Núñez comes back next season with a clean shave,
he needs to shave.
Yeah, he needs to come back looking like Shane Hack, man.
These guys literally have the same issue. It's that pressure of like they just. I feel like they have too much. They feel too much pressure when it comes to scoring. Núñez can freaking beat the goalkeeper and it's like open goal and then he'll hit the post. You know what I mean? But one thing I remember, I think it was maybe Ancelotti saying a while back when one of the strikers wasn't performing. He just said, look, so long as you keep getting into the right place at the right time and making those chances, eventually they'll come good. You just got to keep the faith in them. It's like, and I think what's been good for Jackson is actually the fact that Nkunku has been injured in the set. Because if he wasn't injured, I think maybe Poch might have been forced to tinker, and he wouldn't have been able to start to build up, a bit of confidence. And I think there's a couple of things he solved with us in terms of leaving the front three pretty much as they are in terms of Palmer, Noni, and Jackson. But what he did really interesting against West Ham, which I enjoyed, was he would push Cucurella up into midfield and then play a back three. And that just overloaded the midfield, and then it allowed him to play even It allowed him to play. Who's the speed merchant? I forget his name. Mudryk. So now it gave us a lot of chances. And I mean, like, those guys also had chances. I think Bowen hit the post like 3 times and whatnot. And I think we also hit the post a couple once with Gallagher. But it's not something that's just popped up. It's something that we've been kind of building. You've been seeing it right through from the Aston Villa game. I think we should have won that one. We had that last minute disallowed goal, but then that started to show kind of a bit more maturity in the team. And then going away, you know, winning at the likes of Tottenham and what have you, you know, definitely it's not these games that are, when you watch the game, it's not a fluke. You know what I mean? It's like the team is finally coming together. You can see the likes of Sterling have kind of been frozen out to the last few games, you know, that they're hardly getting a look in. You know, even in Kunku, he was, you know, like there was some subliminals thrown towards him to say, like, you know what, you're not just going to get into the team. So it's it's a young team. It's promising, and even when you watch the presser towards the end of this game, you know, Madueke was talking about the fact that, you know, we've had to mature, you know, and that's one of the reasons why he was talking about the goal he gave to Jackson, you know. And if you remember, not so long ago when we were playing Everton and we were winning quite comfortably, they had that spat over the penalty. Who was going to take the penalty, and it became a whole big deal.
Man, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, like, but that's the thing, though. That's what young players are. These are kids. Noni is like under 21. He's an England under 21. You know, he's 20 years old. Jackson's 21, 22 years old. Palmer's 22 years old. You know, our captain Gallagher is just what, 25. You know, so it's the only thing I'm really looking forward to is really trying to see how we're gonna bring in a bit more experience towards next season, because of course Silva is going. So, but yeah. Very, very good performance.
Yeah, man.
Very happy.
Yeah, man. Of course, with Silva leaving, that is going to bring down your average age back to 14 years old. And definitely need to have some experience added to the team. With that, ladies and gentlemen, would like to bring the show to an end, to a close. We have a Man United game to catch. Man United facing Crystal Palace. At the moment, the scores are still 0-0 as of now, but we wait to see. This is at Selhurst Park, Man United away, but we wait to see what happens out of that. Have a great week, and up you Arsenal, and of course,
stop fearing. You need to relax, loosen up. Don't be shy.
Man, trying to loosen up. I'm preparing for next season.
The guy can even be.
Matthew, we all know deep down inside you're just saying those things. That's your media training talking about next season. We all know deep down you're really there biting your lips, saying, yeah, you know,
guys, man. You better hope Arsenal doesn't win it, because if it does, I'll be spending a night at each of your places. It's a slight donut. Party time. But anyway, we can only hope. It's a hope that kills you, and it will be quite the opposite if nothing happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Guys, have a good week. Thank you for those who have joined the virtual audience. Feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, drop your comment if you haven't already. You can catch the content, obviously, online on YouTube and Twitter, or X as it's now known. And we will be back next week, same time, same place. Cheers, and have a good one.